Final score, Wrexham 2, Gillingham nil. That was nice, wasn't it? It's straightforward, uncomplicated, and commanding. That's what we have become in the last 5 or 6 matches, and it was really pleasing to see. Wrexham have clicked over the last month, I think, and let's be honest, we were in the top four before we clicked, which was always a promising sign. But yeah, we really, and I mean no disrespect to Gillingham in saying this, made this a very routine win. There were two moments of hope essentially for Gillingham, and that was it. And Wrexham had a grip of the game straight from taking the lead in the 53rd second. This was good, and this is how teams that get promotion play, isn't it? Solid, in control, no fuss, get the 3 points, move on. Very pleasing. Yeah, 30 seconds, and we're in the lead. And it was a precursor of what was to come. Some really snappy passing in midfield. Wrexham had possession after Gillingham put the ball out from the kickoff, moved it around patiently, and then Tozer, who so often is the player who brings that acceleration and sense of urgency to a move and plays the pass that begins the actual attacking, threatening, penetrative phase, punched suddenly a pass neatly into midfield because he saw James Jones had dropped off into space. It was then lovely, sort of typical triangular passing to pull players out of shape. Jones straight away to Evans, working it back perfectly onto him. Evans starting as he would go on with a lovely penetrative first time pass, and Gillingham suddenly were all over the place, having pulled up, pulled back, and were exposed. Eventually, Wrexham worked it via Lee to Mendy. Mendy swept in the first of many vicious crosses. Palmer attacked it. Oji with him managed to get a touch onto it, but Dalby was quick enough to get to the loose ball when it was about to go behind for a goal kick just wide of the post. He got there ahead of Turner, pulled it back, and Palmer had an open goal to thrash the ball into. The perfect start for Wrexham. The noise was terrific, and well, we didn't really step on that much. And I think, to be fair, that was because we had the early goal. We were in control. We didn't have to take chances, and also that Gillingham, well, I mean, they've had a lot of 1-0 wins. First 4 games of the season, 1-0 wins. They're under a new manager now, and they certainly have a solidity through the middle of the pitch. They get a lot of bodies in the middle of the pitch. And so we, with the lead, were patient, probed, tried to work our way through. We were comfortably holding Gillingham at arm's length, although it must be said in the 13th minute, Gillingham had a chance which they really should have taken to equalise. It started off with a set piece coming in. Bon tried a shot, good block by Palmer, but the ball ricocheted to OG, the centre-back. A glorious chance. Corner of the 6-yard box, maybe a little bit inside that, left-hand side. Okonkwo's having to get across to cover, hit the target, he'd probably score, and he really slashed at it and put it a good couple of yards wide of the far post. A horrible miss by him. He had a scratchy old game, to be honest, and that was an opportunity Gillingham couldn't afford to turn down, because the truth of the matter is that they're the lowest scorers in the division, even though they're ninth. They struggle to make chances. They really struggle to make chances against a pretty watertight Wrexham team, and that was an opportunity that they just had to take. Having said that, there weren't that many real goalmouth opportunities throughout the whole of the first half on either side. There was one glaring chance just after the half hour. Great combination play between Lee and Dalby. Tremendous by Dalby. Little turn and perfect pass. Palmer one-on-one with the keeper, but mishit it rather and slammed it wide of the left post. He was left of centre. It wasn't the easiest angle, but it was a heck of a chance for him. Soon after that, Dalby did well again to start a breakaway deep in his own half. The ball was manoeuvred around neatly and in the end cleared from the edge of the area to Mendy, who was third favourite to get to the ball, but got there ahead of 2 defenders and then slammed in a right-footed shot from 25 yards, which was never really threatening the keeper as it sailed over the bar. The second moment of real hope for Gillingham came in the second minute of added time, and it's got to be said, their fans were incensed, and they were quite right to be incensed as well. Ball plays back into the box on the left-hand side after a set piece. Malone drove the ball towards goal. Aaron Hayden hit his right hand. It's a penalty. There's no two ways about it. It's a penalty. His arm is out. It's hit hard, but not so close range that you would say you can't give a penalty. It's a penalty every time of the day. And I can only assume that the referee, and looking at the video, I think I may be right, the referee's view was impaired and he needed help from his linesman. The linesman at that end of the pitch had no chance. He was on the wrong side of the pitch and would surely have been unsighted and not been able to gauge. But I just wonder, I mean, the linesman on the halfway line, admittedly in the other half, probably had a pretty clear view of it and needed to help the referee out. So Wrexham incredibly fortunate there. No question it was a penalty. Gillingham fans, like I said, were incensed. I mean, hell, you come all the way up from the furthest reaches of Kent, a long journey, and then you see that decision go against you. They had every reason to be upset, but Wrexham, fortunate there. I've got to say, I don't think that would have influenced the result of the game. Such was Wrexham's control, but that was a penalty. Second half, Wrexham started again strongly, putting a lot of pressure on Gillingham and forcing them back into their own half. We nearly had a remarkable goal in the 52nd minute when a sloppy pass sold Johnny Williams short. Evans tackled him and then decided to have a shot from the halfway line. I mean, it's always great fun to see that. And I said in the commentary, if we win this, that'll be looked back as a great moment of fun. It certainly was. He didn't get enough on it, and the keeper was able to backpedal and grab hold of it. Got to say, though, I think he picked the wrong option because he had three players ahead of him. If he played the right pass, it would have been a 3-on-1 breakaway and we'd have had a glorious opportunity, and his teammates didn't waste any opportunity of telling him that. Anyway, Wrexham just continued to be in control. Mendy sweeping in a good ball for Palmer at the far post, backpedaling. He put a really intelligent looping header back across the keeper. Brilliant footwork by Turner, who had to sprint across one way and then backpedal, managed to stretch and push the ball away. Collided with Che Alexander and had to have treatment, but he was okay. But it was a good piece of goalkeeping, and that sparked a terrifically lively spell of play in which Wrexham could easily have got another goal to add to their lead and could have conceded as well. Firstly, it was Lee pulling the ball in for Palmer, who laid it off perfectly. Jones, 20 yards out, smashed a terrific strike. Defender in front of the keeper got a deflection and sent it wide. Turner would have needed a decent save to have denied it. And then from the corner, Lee put in a great ball for O'Connor. Wrexham had packed the 6-yard box, and O'Connor got up beyond the far post and headed it right into that danger area. Luckily for Gillingham, a defender was able to get a foot to it and clear. And straight away, they broke down the other end, and there was an opportunity. Good ball to Clark, long ball out from the back. Clark did well to diagonally run across O'Connor and have a sight of goal. Drove it in and from the left channel, but too close to Okonkwo, got his body behind it, blocked it, and then grabbed the loose ball. Wrexham straight up the other end then, with another opportunity, double opportunity. Mendy first again, sweeping a good cross in, forward 10 yards out, shoots at goal, blocked, it appeared to me, by Sam Dolby. The ball ricochets back to Mendy, who's followed his cross into the box, and from 8 yards out in a tightish angle, he drove a shot which was into the side netting. But like I said, Wrexham controlling the game. Evans imperious in the middle of the pitch. Jones and Lee's work rate outstanding, and the two big strikers constantly causing issues. Wrexham stretching Gillingham down the flanks as well. It was a sort of textbook illustration of how Parkinson wants Wrexham to play. And in the 71st minute came the second goal, and I've got to say it was a beauty. Tozer was already up from a set piece that had broken down and stayed in the box. Evans, well, had the ball on the left-hand side, about 25 yards out. The crowd were getting impatient because Wrexham had worked the ball down the left a bit without putting a cross in. Evans knew exactly what he was doing. This was all about patience. He stood, he waited. When Mendy had gone past his left shoulder, he still held on to it and then just judged the right moment to play it. Played a glorious pass in between two defenders to send Mendy clear on the left, perfectly weighted, inviting him to hit it in first time. Mendy did so, and Tozer, wow, I mean, I said in the commentary, in the box, he plays like a striker. Brilliant run across the near post and a fabulous cushioned volley finish into the top left corner. Nothing the keeper could do. Lovely goal. And Wrexham had the breathing space. And frankly, Gillingham had barely hurt us, really. They didn't lay a glove on us, hardly. Hadn't in the second half. And the game did feel over then. Even if you're pessimistic and edgy, like I am, still 20 minutes left, that game was over. The remaining opportunities, such as they were, fell to Wrexham. Mendy playing in Lee, who hit the goal line and then deceived the defender with a wonderful little shift of direction and drove across the face of goal, but nobody could get there. Palmer made his run a little early and it went behind him. And then into the last 10 minutes, and again, a swept corner in by O'Connor. Turner went up but missed his punch in the crowd. It ricocheted out to James Jones about 10 yards out. It looked like he had to score, and he smashed it with power. Fabulous block to deflect it around the post. And that was pretty much it. Wrexham played it out, although Lee in the last 15 minutes was his mischievous best, really enjoying finding little pockets of space and taking and beating players. And yeah, Wrexham brought on Tunnicliffe. Great to see him back from injury. For Aaron Hayden, great to see him back from injury. It was just a routine change. And then Jordan Davis came on late on. Elliot Lee getting a good round of applause. A very good round of applause. He deserved it, but very good because he went off at the far side of the pitch. So we got to go through to half the circumference of the pitch, taking the plaudits from the fans. So a brilliant performance by Wrexham because it was so comfortable. Gillingham, no fools. They were top of the table not so long ago. They're ninth now. They got a solid defence, and we broke it down and made chances. And that's without Mullin, without McLean. Looking through the performances, Okonkwo made one save. That was all he had to do, really. It'd be perfectly good. Good in the air, as always. A nice quiet day for Okonkwo. Across the back, I thought the back three were really good. O'Connor, really impressive. I mean, his anticipation, use of the ball, winning headers, really good all-round centre-back performance. Hayden came back on the right, and it was great to see. I thought it'd taken him a little bit of time to just get back into the swing of it, but once he did, he was his usual self. And then Tozer, again, excellent. Since his break, he's come back and been terrific. I mean, that was Tozer at his best. There was one point where Bon was running at him down the right, and it was classic Tozer, where he's not as quick as Bon, but he knows how to cut down the spaces, force him to the side of the pitch, and force him to either take a risk to take him on where Tozer can get the tackle in, or wait for support. It was just classic Tozer. And he scored a goal, to be fair. And he played the pass that got the rhythm going in the first goal. On the wings, Ford was good on the right-hand side, got some good balls in, and didn't have that much to do defensively, but certainly did it well. Mendy, terrific on the other side, really relishing a chance to play on the proper side for him rather than the right, where he's been filling in. Some great crosses. He loved bursting past Che Alexander. It was a cracking performance by him. He may be disappointed as well. He had a couple of decent sights of goal that he didn't get one for himself. In midfield, we made George Evans man of the match. The sponsors made George Evans man of the match. Ben, my lad, made George Evans man of the match. George Evans was man of the match, and that's in a very competitive pool because there were a lot of fine performances. But Evans was just class, just a higher level. Just his anticipation, his reading of the game, his vision, his ability to play passes at perfect weight, everything. It was a great performance by George Evans. And he also was key in Wrexham's discipline, because that's something I haven't mentioned. So Gillingham are good on the ball. They're too slow bringing it forwards, mind. You can see why they haven't scored that many. But Wrexham's defensive block made them like that as well. When we lost the ball, we were so quick, if we couldn't win it back straight away, to drop into a really tight block, a medium block usually, and challenge Gillingham to pass the way through us, and they just couldn't do it. They didn't have the sort of movement that we had, the sort of crispness in our tackle that we had. Crispness, not Christmas. That'll come next month. And they just were battering against a brick wall, passing it around in front of us. And Evans was instrumental in organising that and organising where the midfield would drop, so they didn't stand on the toes of the centre-backs and allow Gillingham too much leeway in the Wrexham half. Alongside him, James Jones did James Jones things, constant work. There was one wonderful bit quite late in the game where he broke down the right-hand side, lost the ball, and then made an absolutely lung-busting run back as Bond broke away down the left. Hayden came across to slow Bond down, and that gave James Jones a chance to nick the ball back from him. But terrific energy, good touch, nice passing, couple of good shots that were blocked, which could easily have been goals. Great performance by Jones. Lee was class, and at the end as well, really put on a show, but his work rate was terrific. Number of times he's there as a wing back, covering the runs of Mendy and intercepting when the balls go over the top. And that's not his game, but he does it, and he does it well. And then, well, yeah, excellent work all round. Number of times he was the key player, spinning in midfield to switch play to the other side of the pitch and expose the weaker half of Gillingham's defence when they filtered over to one side of the pitch. Quality. He doesn't even have to look. He just knows people where they are and can spin and hit them. Class player. And then up front, the two big men. combined very well. I was slightly surprised how many people were talking about whether they could work together. They have worked together in the past and worked well. They were clearly looking to play first-time passes all the time to just punch their way around Gillingham defenders, and it worked. Didn't always get it right, but they did really well. Palmer was good in the air, physical as ever, although I would say that Masterson did a decent job handling him physically. But Palmer was always looking to get turned and facing goal and working passes through the channels. It was good to see. Dalby put in a hell of a good shift, working hard, dropping deep, starting a couple of attacks from deep, and really good the way back into his marker, OG, who he gave a rough time to, and then would take those little touches to get past him and then get his head up and look ahead. Great performance by both of them. Great performance by Wrexham. Playing a good team, routine win. Can't ask much more than that. With a final score of Wrexham 2, Gillingham 0, I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.